Hello, I'm Rebecca. This is not a clickbait title. This title is 100% accurate. I wish it was clickbait.
Got two good shoulders to cry on. I was alright on my own till I fell, but it wasn't fake. And I couldn't tell at the time, but I was my own soulmate.
This is actually my 100 subscriber special, you guys. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for 100 subs, you guys. This is awesome. Like, I'm so grateful. I did not think I would hit it so soon with that last video because normally I only get like 1 subscriber at a time. That's pretty much how I've gotten to 100 subs, is 1 subscriber at a time, and every one I was so stoked. And now, this last video about Tourette's, I've gotten 10 subscribers. You guys, give me a hug. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has subscribed, who's watched, who's commented, liked, disliked, everything. I am just so grateful that I've hit 100 subs. Thank you for all the support on my video about Tourette's. Tourette's is so embarrassing, and since I filmed that video, it's only been getting more embarrassing, but I've also been learning more and more about myself and my disability, and it's just been great. I am just freaking being showered in God's love these days. I don't know, you guys. Also, speaking of people who comment, this person, I'm gonna put their comment on the screen right here, Leo B, I believe their name is. This person commented, and I just genuinely appreciated their comments so much because they disagreed with me, but not in any sort of like hateful, negative way. And they just opened up like such an awesome conversation to be had. It just gives me faith in humanity. So, Leo, thank you so much for your beautiful comment. I love you. You're awesome. You're great. Thank you so much for commenting. If you want to be shouted out in my next video, leave a comment on this video. You can agree or disagree. I'm just gonna pick my favorite comment from each video from now on and shout the commenter out in my next video. So, if you want to be shouted out, go ahead and leave a comment. Alright, we're a few minutes in now. Let's get into the actual video. Alright, I'm gonna take a hit because I need a hit to talk about this because this relationship was toxic, you guys. This relationship was abusive. I know that on YouTube you're supposed to come up with fake names for people, but everything I'm saying is true. I'm gonna be honest about the horrible things that I did in this relationship too. How this relationship brought out the most evil sides of me. And I think since I'm gonna be honest about my evil in the relationship, I don't feel like I need to hide his name. His name is Joel. I mean, God's telling me to use his real name. I mean, hopefully I don't get sued for slander or something, but if I did, I would just take it to court, I guess. I don't know. I'm not making up lies today. I'm not here to like make anyone look worse than anyone. I'm just here to tell the fucking truth because I don't want another man or woman to have to go through what I went through in this relationship. So, I met Joel online. Surprise, surprise. On Facebook, he had this fake profile that he used to stalk his ex, or his cousin or something. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, someone who didn't want to talk to him, he used it to stalk their profile. Well then, in retrospect, I am realizing that he was using it to prey upon young women, but at the time, he told me that, oh, well, he would talk to whoever messaged this fake account because it had, like, no profile picture or anything, and, like, he said that young teenage girls would just add him. Then he would talk to them because they added him. I don't believe that anymore, and maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm wrong for not believing that that's the truth, but I find it really hard to believe, and I did at the time too, but I was so naive and trusting that I believed him. Anyways, so I guess my profile was suggested to him. He told me pretty early on into talking to each other that he had thought I was under 18 when he messaged me, which is gross because the first things he messaged me were like pestering for nudes. And I went off on him. I was like, I don't know who the fuck you are, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but like, I'm a human being, I'm a woman, I'm a person, I'm not just someone to send you nudes. He was kind of like, oh, sorry. And so then we started having good conversations. I thought, oh good, I snapped this guy out of his fuckboy behavior. No, I made him realize that I was gonna have to be manipulated more thoroughly in order to get what he wanted from me. We became friends. We had a lot of really cool conversations, actually. Things stayed a little flirty, too. Oh, by the way, I had just turned 18 when we started talking. Like, I was freshly 18. He told me that he was 28. He told me that he was not married. He did not have kids. All of that was a lie, as it turned out. You know, we were talking flirty and stuff because there was a genuine friendship there. And I've had people tell me, are you sure? Are you sure? I think that there was a genuine friendship there. But that doesn't take away the fact that even though I was legally an adult, that I was 18, you know, I was being groomed and I was being manipulated to do what he wanted. He took advantage of the fact that there was a genuine friendship there to manipulate me further. I don't know if he was consciously or subconsciously manipulating me in these ways also. I'm not inside anyone's head and I'm not going to claim to know where the manipulation was coming from. I just know that it was there because I can look back and see it now because I've learned what it looks like. So a couple weeks in, he sends me like 2 or 3 different songs. I think it was 3 different songs, and they were all really romantic. And the first one, I was like, oh, that was a pretty song. And the next one was super romantic too, and I started like getting emotional. We were on a video chat or something, and he was like, I really wanted you to hear these songs, you know, like, this is how I feel about you. I had never had a real boyfriend. People often say, well, why would you stay? Why would you stay? I had never had a boyfriend, like a real boyfriend. I didn't know what a relationship was supposed to look like. I didn't know that someone saying I love you and sending you romantic songs 2 weeks into knowing each other. 2 weeks into knowing each other. I didn't know that that wasn't normal. That was not just not normal, but a red flag. Sweet pea, please don't do that. I didn't know the signs. This isn't something that they teach you. I thought he really loved me. When this man was sending me these romantic songs, I genuinely thought that he had fallen in love with me. I believed that because no one had ever even been so romantic to me before. No one had ever said they romantically loved me before. And I was high on that rush. I was like, wow, this guy really loves me. Obviously, I wasn't in love with him yet. We came up with this silly dumb relationship word. You know how relationships are kind of cheesy sometimes, and so I said I like of you. It's more than like but less than love, and so we would say we like of each other. That went on for probably like 2 weeks until I said I love you or something. Like everything went way too fast, which is the first major red flag. I mean, he had already lied to me, but I didn't know it was a lie yet, so that was like the first major red flag that I didn't notice. About a month in, and I could be mixing up the timelines, you know, I'm almost 24 now, so this was almost 6 years ago that this happened, so forgive me if I'm misremembering any details. So, about a month in or so, it came out that he was married, but separated, living in separate places. And not that that makes it okay, I'm just clarifying for clarity's sake, okay? Not that that justifies it, but at that time it justified it to me. I was like, oh, well, he's separated, they don't even live together. Like, it's like they're not even married. Because when he told me he was married, I was like, well, do you have kids? And he was like, no kids, no kids. And I was like, come on, like, it's okay if you do, I just need to know. And he was like, no, I really don't. I was like, okay. And then like a couple weeks later, however long it was, I find out that he does have kids, and he's like, I'm sorry, I was just scared you wouldn't want to be with me. And I was like, aw, he wanted to be with me, so he lied. He really wanted to be with me. That's the second red flag, those 2 major lies that I sort of noticed but brushed off. In case you don't know, in case you're a naive, trusting teenager like I was, that's not romantic. It don't matter how romantic it feels, honey. It's not. It's bad. It's wrong. Someone who truly loves you will not lie to you to manipulate you. Someone who truly loves you will let you leave if you want to because they love you that much. So a few months in, we broke up. I was in a bad place at the time. I was basically living with my mom, getting high in her house when I wasn't supposed to have weed in her house because she's a recovering addict. But I didn't care because I was emotionally addicted to weed at the time. So I was not working. I had dropped out of school a year before. So I was like in this place where I needed to start job hunting, but I kept putting it off and getting high instead. Great time to jump into a relationship. Honestly, just the perfect time to get into a relationship. We broke up a few months in for the first time. For the first time, yes. Basically, because I was in that place, I was being too needy. I was like, come on, like, why don't you talk to me so much, blah, blah, blah. And he had to be like, girl, like, I have kids, like, I have a full-time job, like, I'm an adult, like, I gotta get my shit done. And then I was like, fair enough. And then he wanted to break up because of that. And I was like, no, like, I understand, you're right, I'll give you your space. And, like, it's funny because that very first breakup, I remember crying on the kitchen floor being like, maybe, like, we are meant to break up and you're just meant to get back with your wife and fix your marriage. I knew the truth then. God already had put the truth in my heart then, but I fought it. We both did, because he wanted this fantasy escape from his reality. He wanted to pretend that he wasn't married with kids and commitments already. He wanted to pretend that he could run off with some pretty young girl, freshly 18. He wanted to stay in that reality, and I wanted to stay in the reality that somebody loved me romantically, because I knew that other people loved me, but I wanted to stay in the world where someone actually loved me romantically. I don't know if he ever truly loved me, honestly. I don't know when things started getting bad. I don't even remember what it was about now. Oh my gosh, there were a million fights about stupid shit. We would break up, get back together, break up, get back together. He was incredibly thoroughly jealous. He was so consumed by jealousy. If I talked to male friends, if I went out with my friends and didn't respond, he would just become really controlling, which is weird because at first he dumped me for wanting his attention too much, but after that first time, it was always him being jealous of my time, my attention that I was giving to people who weren't him. I can't say what his intentions were, but in retrospect, it really seems like he was trying to teach me the lesson that his time was more important, that if he needed space, his space needed to be respected. Otherwise, he would leave me. But if I needed space, well, I was doing him dirty. I wasn't giving him the attention that he needed. So he was basically just setting up this dynamic where his time was more important than mine, and I needed to dedicate myself to him, even though he was married with children. There would just be tons of fights about that stuff, basically. I don't remember all the details. So then, skip ahead to 7 months. Like, we were trying to, like, work out this fight or something, and I was like, look, let's just agree never to lie to each other again, because a healthy relationship is founded on trust. It's built on trust and honesty. He was like, okay, yeah, awesome, great. And I was like, awesome, great. So if there's any lies, any last lies you need to get them out now. I honestly think that was God kind of telling me intuitionally, like, he's still lying about something. And then he told me that he was 38, not 28. And so I was shook to my core, didn't leave him. Another red flag that I brushed under the rug. Also, all the breaking up and getting back together, that was another red flag that I just didn't notice. I wasn't aware of it. Also, the jealousy thing, that was another red flag that I wasn't fully aware of the manipulation that kind of behavior was, like, associated with. So I brushed it under the rug, but I also didn't realize what a red flag that all the jealousy was, because I couldn't see how he was, like, controlling me with it. So, you know, you can already tell from here that half the red flags I'm brushing off, and half of them I just don't even notice them because I was young, I was naive, I was never taught how to notice the signs of manipulation. That's why I'm making this video, because I think it should be obligatory that every parent teaches this to their kids. Now, this is the part where it gets darker. This is where we start talking about the child predator stuff, and I want to put a content warning here. This is inappropriate. This was bad stuff that he got me into. I'm trying to let go of the shame, you know? So a few months into our relationship, I don't remember when, I had a friend who started exploring the DDLG fetish. If you don't know what that is Daddy Dom Little Girl. It is incest roleplay. It is the fetishization. It's an incest roleplay that fetishizes incest and pedophilia. It's very common these days, and I'm sure I'm going to offend a lot of people by bringing this up, but I need to be honest about the ways that he manipulated me and the ways that he got me to come to the dark side, so to speak. Yes, this is as fucked up as it sounds. But he didn't get me into that fetish. I'm gonna be honest with you. I found it on my own. I wish I had never seen pornography, but I used to watch it a lot, and I discovered a lot of fetishes that now do not turn me on at all. Yes, because I found God, because I found Jesus, but also because I learned what true love is and what true spiritual sensuality feels like. A lot of fetishes are violent or dark. Like I said, this one is about incest and pedophilia. People say, oh, it's just a power dynamic thing. Why are you recreating the power dynamic between a parent and their child in the bedroom? Just think about that. And I'm not judging. I don't think any less of anybody who does have any fetish at all. I'm not thinking any less of anybody. I'm just sharing the fucking tea on the situation, honestly, because I don't think enough people are talking about the dark sides of these things. I think people always brush it off as cool and fine and dandy and whatever, and they don't talk about the fucked up sides of things, and someone fucking needs to. If I had had this information, I wouldn't have gone through this. So gross. We started, pursuing that fetish. And I would, call him daddy, and he would, call me baby or whatever. We would do, the nasty incest roleplay stuff. As we got closer, as we were together longer, he told me he was attracted to teenagers, young teenagers, barely developed. He told me this. We talked about it. We fetishized it. I won't lie. I can't hold on to this shame anymore because people need to know what's fucking out there. And if it makes me look like a terrible person, then that's fine, as long as it helps somebody. As long as it helps somebody not go through that. I was in love with this guy. I thought I was gonna have this guy's kids. I thought this was my life partner sharing their deepest secrets and sins with me. And so I never wanted him to feel bad about it. And so, even though I was, kind of shocked when he told me these things sometimes, I'd never tell him, well, that's wrong, you're a piece of shit. Because I was in love with him, and I thought he would never actually do anything. Maybe he wouldn't. Maybe he would've. Maybe if I was under 18, he would've still talked to me. Who knows? I don't know. I got into it more after I was raped. Because sex with a child is always rape. So you're also kind of fetishizing rape in a way with DDLG. I really got into rape fetishes after I was raped. It was a way for my brain to pretend to be okay with it, without actually having to process everything like I kind of have now. Subconsciously, I was like, if I'm turned on by it, then maybe it isn't such a horrible thing and I don't have to feel so sad about it. Also, he called me a slut. Yeah, when I was raped, he called me a slut, but I also...
Hey, Future Becca here, editing. You know how I just said he called me a slut for getting raped, but Yeah, brainwashing lasts a long time, and I'm cutting the rest of what I said out because nothing I said made me deserve to be called a slut for getting raped. Just wanted to point that out. We were together 2 years. We haven't been together for 4 years now. And, the brainwashing is still here. Yay! Moving on.
I honestly don't want to talk about this because the fact that I didn't leave right then and there, the fact that I didn't call the police or something haunts me.
Also, even though I still weirdly feel guilty about this, I know the police wouldn't have done anything because, just to clarify, what he showed me was not child porn. I know I haven't addressed it yet, but yeah, that's where we're going, guys. Look out. But yeah, it wasn't anything illegal. So as horrible and morally abhorrent as it was, the police wouldn't have done anything. Y'all know how pigs are. They don't do shit. They just sit around. Okay.
He shared a website with me of preteens and teens dressed no way that any preteen or young teen should ever be dressing. Posing in ways that no child should ever be posing. It shocked me. You know, as a child, I saw a sex scene when I was like 4 years old. The TV was left on overnight, and I came out into the living room, and I saw this scene, and I hid under the table and watched it, and I started having sex dreams way too young, at like 4 or 5 years old, and some of them were weirdly rapey for some reason. I don't know why, but I think that kind of messed me up because my sexuality was jump-started way too early as a child. And so, in a way to cope with that, I think that's also why I was into this fetish, because I was role-playing the child being sexually violated. I was fetishizing my own trauma. I know it doesn't sound like trauma. You just saw a sex scene as a kid, but it traumatized me. I don't know what to tell you. It just did. We don't choose how things affect us as children. They just affect us. And so when he sent me this website, part of me wanted to be into it because I was so sick in my head at that point that I thought sharing this evil with my partner was a way for us to bond. And so I tried to get into it. I mean, we'd like look at them together and share this evil together. You know, the other part of it is any part of me that was disgusted by it, I did not want to let show because I didn't want to fight. I pray for him still to this day that he's freed from that evil the way I've been freed from it, because, you know, pretty soon after that we stopped altogether. We were like, this is bad, this is wrong, it's done. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm the one who brought it up, but he was in agreement. At least to my face he was, and I really hope that it was genuine when he said that. We didn't look at those websites anymore, we didn't do DDLG anymore. You know, I'm so sorry for fetishizing something so evil, you know, and that's why my relationship with Joel and what evil he inspired in me. You know, for a long time I thought it was us both equally, but he was encouraging it, and I'm not blaming him. I take full responsibility for what I did, but like, I was led into this world. I was manipulated into this world, into being okay with this. If you're wondering, if you've been following the Onision fucking Chris Hansen case, and you're wondering how Kai became a child predator, this is how. This is how. And this is how I know that this is not uncommon. And this is what makes me skeptical, because for a long time I just thought, oh, this was like a man who genuinely loved me, like just sharing his like deepest, darkest, like evil secrets with me. No, this is common. In child predators, people who want to be with children will find young people that they can get away with being with and then encourage the same evil in them. And that's why I'm so passionate about Chris Hansen's case, you know, that he's building against Onision. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because I've lived in a relationship like that. Now, granted, Joel he's not a famous person with access to like dozens and dozens of women. I'm just Kai in the situation, basically. I mean, it never got so far. Thank you, Jesus. How could I let somebody bring me down so far? How could I let somebody make me scum? And the answer is because I loved them. I loved them, and I thought when I let him make me scum that I was being a good partner, that I was sticking by him, that I was doing what I was supposed to do. I didn't do anything about it. I didn't say anything. I didn't call the police. I didn't tell anybody. Because I was like, oh, well, he showed this to me. Now I'm, like, guilty, too. But how the fuck do you even find websites like that? Like, where the fuck did he get those links? Who the fuck has he been talking to? What has he been searching for to find that shit? He never told me how he found it. I think I asked him when he first showed me and he gave me some vague answer, but like how... It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. I'm so ashamed. You know what Satan would want? He would want me to stay ashamed and to stay quiet so that he can keep doing his evil shit and making this happen to more people. Because when I speak up and I'm honest about the depths to which I sank in that relationship, I'm sharing the truth. When you're a young teen, even when you're 18, 19, fuck 20, when your brain's not done developing and you're with someone older than you, you can't see the manipulation. You can't. You are incapable. Hear me. Hear me right now, okay? If you are in a relationship like this person will not just treat you badly. They will make you as evil as them. Child predators don't just want to violate children. They want someone to do it with sometimes. And they will grab you when you're young and spend years fucking chipping at you, hammering at you, and turning you into them. Because it relieves them of a guilty conscience, because then you're doing it too, then you're just as bad as them. Anyone can fall victim to this. I love children, and I would never actually hurt a child, and those things don't actually arouse me. But even I was dragged into that world of fetishizing it. Fetishizing it isn't good. It leads to the arousal by the actual thing. Like, I don't care what anyone says. DDLG is not healthy. Come at me. Okay, but fetishizing pedophilia is not okay. And if we're gonna be out here saying that pedophiles are so evil, what is so different from pretending that adult is a kid while you're fucking them and fucking an actual kid? The only difference is that a child is being harmed, but you're still being aroused by the same evil, disgusting thought. I'm sorry for being so upset and yelling, but I need it to be fucking clear. Abusive relationships will not just hurt you. They will make you abusive. They will make you violent. They will make you a child predator. They will turn you into your abuser. You won't just be abused, you will become an abuser. Kids need to be aware of this. Teenagers and young adults need to be aware of this. It's not about who you are. It's about who you let around you and who you let influence you and who you let into your heart. You have to guard your heart, you guys. God, I'm forever sorry. I'm forever sorry. I'm forever sorry for being in that relationship and for letting someone plant a seed of evil so deeply in my heart. Like, I just feel so sorry for letting him ever get that close to me to where I let him corrupt me like that. I just pray for him that his heart is healed too. And of course things were verbally abusive too. We would yell and scream at each other on the phone. He would call me a bitch. He would call me a slut. He would accuse me of like going out and fucking all these guys. Oh, I completely forgot to mention, when we got together, I told him that I wanted to be in a polyamorous relationship. I'm not into that now, but I did pursue it for a few years, and he said he was fine with it, and then he had lied. Surprise, surprise, another red flag that I completely just ignored, even though I knew it wasn't good. I finally understand why God wanted me to post this, and it's because if people don't know the true, disgusting horrors of child predators preying on even freshly 18-year-olds, because I'm not the only one. I am not the only one. But people don't know the true dangers. They won't take it seriously. This is serious stuff. Take your children's safety seriously. This is why every parent needs to educate their child on internet safety and on how to recognize an abusive relationship. I honestly still am feeling like I might not want to post this just because I'm so scared to be honest. I was being stubborn. I was being arrogant. I had put so much time into this relationship. I didn't want to admit that I'd spent 2 years with someone thinking I was gonna have their kids and then I wasn't. That makes you feel stupid for staying. And I was stupid for staying. We all make mistakes, and I didn't want to admit that I had made a mistake. I was being arrogant and stubborn. It's okay to waste years with somebody, because it's not wasted if you learn from it. If you leave and you grow, especially if you both grow, you know, that wasn't wasted then. And why should you stay in an abusive relationship just because otherwise it'll be a waste of time? It's so dumb, because up until like a year ago, we had still talked a little on and off. That's the dumbest part, is like, it took me so long not just to see that he was a child predator, but to realize fully how abusive the relationship was. I didn't realize until I was like 22, 23, and I'm 23 now, dude, like, recent. We were only together 2 years, and then, oh, the way we broke up. I don't remember exactly what ended it for the final time, but I was finally over it and we broke up, and I had a month till my lease was up and I needed to get out of Phoenix. I'd always wanted to move away. My dad had just a couple years before moved to Santa Fe here. With like a month and a half to go until my lease was up, I was like, can you please help me move into an apartment with you in Santa Fe? I don't know why I'm getting emotional about this. I've never cried telling this part before. I'm just talking about how I moved here, but he was just like, yes. He didn't even question it. He just said yes and helped me move in a month and a half. He found the place, and I was just so grateful to my dad for helping me move, because I feel like ever since I moved, I've just been constantly changing into more and more myself, and then I found God, and it's like now I really found myself, and it just never would have happened if I hadn't moved here. And my dad's also the one who finally last year encouraged me to block Joel. And then after we broke up for the last time, like, we would go several months without talking, and then I would hit him up again, and I'd be like, maybe we can, I genuinely just wanted to be friends. Like, when I first moved here, there was a brief period where I still wasn't sure if we were gonna get back together or not. I know, fucking crazy. It made me sad for it to be such a negative thing, but it is, and I've accepted that now, but I just really wanted to be on good terms. I wanted to be able to be like, you know, once a year, hey, how are you? Hope you're great with that other person. Hope you're having a great life, you know? Within a week or two, he would be texting me more and more, and he would be, like, trying to have this weird sense of ownership over me, and, like, why aren't you talking to me enough, blah, blah, blah. About a year ago, I hit him up. We were talking for maybe a week or two. And we would talk about God and stuff, because I was just coming to Jesus. I think this was actually around last April, now that I think about it. What really struck me and really helped me, like, finalize not talking to him anymore in my head was how he responded when I shared God's word with him. He was always into Jesus, even though I was into paganism when we knew each other, but he was always into Jesus. And when I shared the word with him, when I shared the Bible with him, he was like so resistant to it, and I remember just thinking, but I thought you were the one into Jesus. I thought you were the one into the Bible. Like, Like, if it didn't resonate with his own opinions, it's like he kind of didn't want to hear it. One day I was praying to God. I watched this sermon about cutting people out of your life who aren't healthy for you, and I was like, is there anyone you want me to cut out of my life, God? And he said, Joel. And I said, really? But things have been kind of mellow. Like, it seems like things are going okay. Like, I'm not stressed out or anything. And then God was like, he's not healthy. You keep each other away from God. And I was like, okay. I told him what God said, and I was like, I'm really sorry. I really wanted to be friends and talk, but God says I just have to cut you out of my life because we keep each other from God, and I don't fully understand it, but I just have to do that. And I could tell he was, like, annoyed, but he was like, okay. And then, like, a week or so later, maybe a few days later, I don't remember, he texted me late at night, just blowing up my phone like he used to do. He would do that thing where he says text, just blowing you up with bullshit, manipulative, gaslighting bullshit. And he sent me, like, so many messages saying, like, you know, I'm sick of you doing this to me and messing with my emotions, which, like, I made it very clear that my intentions were never romantic or like intimate or flirty or anything. Like, he was back living with his wife and I was stoked. Like, it was really creepy, and like I was like, wow, this guy really is so delusional. Like, there were times where when we were together, I literally told him, like, you remember things your way so selectively that I genuinely think you need to go to a doctor to get diagnosed for some sort of like delusional disorder. I mean, maybe he just is pretending, but it seems like he genuinely believes them. And so he sent me all these texts, like, he had, like, all these points to make, and he had listed them. So it was, like, 1, blah, 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 like a whole fucking paragraph, 2, blah, 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 like a whole fucking paragraph, and it was up to 5, and I was still receiving texts of paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. I'm just, like, staring at my phone, like, oh, I was also rolling on MDMA. So it was a very interesting time to receive that, and I was so mellow about it. I was just like, what? Like, it was kind of entertaining. My dad was like, just block him, dude. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm finally ready now. And I just blocked him. My dad had told me to block him so many times and I couldn't. And I was just like, he's still in that world and I'm just a completely different person who could not care less. Boop. Probably one of the best things I've ever done, because after I got him out of my life, I made room for my current partner who God had waiting for me all this time. I didn't need to be worried at all. I just had to wait a little longer. It's great because now my current partner has the best traits of all my exes with like almost no character flaws. He's just a genuinely great person. No one's perfect, of course, so I can't say he's perfect, but like, man, he's just great. He's just such a great person, and if I could go back and tell 18-year-old Becca when she broke up with him for that first time, I would say, girl, there's someone a million times better than Joel. You just gotta wait 6 more years. Sorry. I would have been like, girl, 5? But now it feels like the blink of an eye. I can't believe I'm already gonna be 24. I'm entering my mid-20s. It's just so weird. Whoa, it's hitting me. Oh my gosh, I'm an adult. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope that you learned from this, because that's what I want out of it. These are literally like the deepest, darkest secrets I have right now that I'm just putting on YouTube. Like I said, I know who I am. I know that my worst behavior does not represent who I truly am. And I'm just so grateful that I have God to get me out of situations like that in life, because as long as I stick next to him, nothing like that will ever happen to me again. I can tell you that much. Thank you, Jesus. Ugh, thank you. You know, ultimately it doesn't matter if this damages my character, because this is who I am. This is truly me. This is truly what I've been through, and it's for the greater good. I have faith in God that he will bring this video to people who need to see it. If that's you watching this right now, you're not alone. It's so much easier to leave than you could ever imagine. Like, it's so hard. Don't get me wrong, it's incredibly hard, but it's so possible, and there's help out there for you. There's resources out there for you. In the description, I'm going to have linked some different resources that you can call for if you're in an abusive relationship, if you need to escape, if you're homeless or something. I don't know what resources are gonna be in there right now, but I promise you I'm going to do lots of research and put multiple links down here if you're in a situation like that you need help getting out of. It's not your fault. You know, it's not your fault. But you do play a role, and you have to take your power back and choose to leave. No one can leave for you. You have to do it for yourself. You have to save yourself and rescue yourself. Please, please. Like, message me on Instagram if you need help, dude. Like, personally, like, my Instagram's gonna be in the description too. If you want someone to talk to because you're in a relationship like this, like, message me. I'll respond. I'm not famous. Like, this is my 100 subscriber special. Like, I'm a regular person. Like, hit me up. I'll be your friend and I'll support you, because no one I don't want anyone to feel like they're alone in that situation, because I felt like I was, and that's what kept me trapped, you know? Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thank you for 100 subscribers. I can't believe how much support my videos and my channel has been getting recently, and I'm proud of the videos I'm creating, and I'm so grateful that people are watching them and getting something out of them, because that's all I could want. I'm not doing this to get famous or to make money. I just want to have a positive impact on the world, even if it's a quarter of 100 people. I'm crying so much. This is so dumb. I swear I'm not doing it for views. I promise. Alright, have a great day. I'm gonna go because I'm an emotional mess and I have to get ready for work. I love you. You can do it. Whatever it is you need to get done and you don't believe you can do it, you can. You can. I'm right, you're wrong. Have a great day. Bye.